I should put John Martinez. He RSVP'd that he was going to come, but I guess something happened. Okay, so we are very fortunate to have 6 people running for 3 positions. So we have Elizabeth Urbanski, Jamie Hines, Joseph Hammer, Lori Amarati, and Mike Sacco. So they each have 5 minutes to give a statement. Then their statements will all be posted on Facebook, so you can tell all your friends if they weren't able to be here that they can come and see these wonderful people who are willing to give up their time, their family life, their money to serve our community. It's a really wonderful thing that they're doing, and I have great respect for all of you guys. So they drew numbers from an envelope, and Elizabeth got the chance to speak first. So Scott, they have 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, is that working? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Like this?
Closer.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Urbanski, and I am a candidate for the Board of Education. Firstly, let me thank CELU for inviting us here. Louder. For inviting us here to speak with you. Is that better?
Yes.
Better. When my grandfather purchased property in Holmdel in the 1930s, he was attracted to the unique rural character of what was then a much smaller town. My family has stayed in this community for the same reasons. We reside on our family's organic tree farm in Holmdel, which is where I grew up and where we are raising our 3 children. I don't think so. All of our 3 children attend Holmdel. Here, here's the other one. Hello? Hello?
Turn the other ones off.
Is this working?
Yes.
Yep.
All of our 3 children attend Holmdel schools, and we've had direct experience of the entire school system, from preschool at the village school to Holmdel High School. I understand the unique history of Holmdel Township and the Holmdel school system, which combines both academic excellence and engaged and educated parents within a pastoral environment. As our children have progressed through the school system, I have realized it is very important to be directly involved in the school community. I've attended board meetings, met with all of the key members of the administration, and I have been able to see the inner workings of the Holmdel school system. I am running for the school board to improve transparency, accountability, and excellence across the whole school districts. While we have many important and exciting changes with our Vision 2020 building plan, there are other areas of transparency and accountability within the school system that need to be improved. Holmdel has a reputation of being an excellent school system, and we need to make sure we continually work to elevate all aspects of the educational experience. I promise transparency in all aspects of the school board operations. The school district has been focusing on data-driven analysis to better understand the performance and issues involved with running a school in the 21st century. As we are collecting and databasing metrics about our children, the parents of Holmdel need to be fully informed of everything we are learning and the outcomes of this. If the administration has access to metrics about your children, then you should too. It has been my experience as a parent that decision-making that affects our children can be opaque, and I feel strongly that parents are better advocates when they are informed advocates. I will push for more accountability of the board and the school system to parents. And unfortunately, in recent years, we have experienced some issues involving school safety, and communication to the parents and children on this has not been fully forthcoming as it should have been. Parents are rightly concerned about what has happened and what is being done. We should not have to resort to Holmdel Parents' Facebook page to find out whether our children are safe. Timeliness and clear communication are essential. Another issue of concern is the standards that are applied when making critical decisions about our children's educational options as they progress through their school careers. The options made available to them during their education have lifelong effects. I will push the administration to provide greater accountability, not only on how decisions are made, but to follow up on the outcomes of those decisions. Excellence in education is, of course, an issue we are all pushing for. The most recent U.S. News and World Report article places us at 106th in the state out of a list of 350. Many of you who moved into Holmdel because of the school system, and this ranking has effect not only on our children, but also on our property values. We need to understand what the reason is for this ranking and what we need to do to raise us within this table. What should our target ranking be, and what are the steps we are going to take in order to attain it? I am running because people who know me know I am a strong advocate for children and parents, with experience in the school system from preschool to high school. They have encouraged me to share my advocacy with the whole community. I will be your voice promoting transparency, accountability, and excellence within the school system. Thank you.
Good evening, how are you? Thank you to CELU for inviting me here. My name is Jamie Hines, and it is my first time running for the Board of Ed, and this was an excellent opportunity for me to meet some people in the room who I may not see when I'm running around all over town or in the schools or on the sidelines with my kids, so thank you very much for this opportunity. For those of you who don't know me, who I would think is a majority here, I moved to Holmdel 15 years ago with my husband and my first set of twins before they were 1. And we moved here because of the schools. And my husband commutes to Manhattan, so we looked at lots of neighboring districts. I was at the time, I was working in the Marlborough School District, so I knew I liked the area, but when we did our research, we did realize that we felt Holmdel was a lot more competitive in that area, and I had the inside scoop of Marlborough, so we were happy to make the choice to move to Holmdel. I have 4 children. I have 2 sets of twins. I have 2 boys that are in 9th grade, and I have a boy-girl that are in 7th grade, and I'm still standing, so. And I survived. But they've been in the Holmdel school system since kindergarten, and from the second that they enrolled, I've been involved. I have a 9-year streak as class mom for at least one of them every year, sometimes more. I have been on every class trip for Village School and Indian Hill School. I've worked with the parent associations at Village, at Indian Hill. I worked with the teachers. The reason why I was so excited to be involved is because that was my background. I'm a certified teacher. I was a school counselor for many years in neighboring districts, and I loved, loved, loved working in the school, being around the kids, helping out, watching, seeing the teachers, you know, just being in the classroom in the school environment is just a beautiful thing. So why did I decide to run for Board of Ed? Well, now that my kids have been in school for so long, I've always been happy. You know, year to year, I've had concerns about what I've seen, or, you know, curriculum or testing, or, you know, certain teachers or certain struggles that I've seen. But now that I've been in the community for so long, I've spoken to so many other community members about what their concerns are. I'm wondering, are they being met? And I have not served on the Board of Ed in the past, but the one thing I do know is I get around, I speak to a lot of people, I have a lot of kids, and I do like to hear the concerns. And what I can do, and what I promise to do, is bring those concerns to the board, make sure that they are being addressed, make sure that our community's needs and concerns are being heard. Because I worked in a school, and because I've been on that side, I've been on the side as a parent, I've been a teacher, I've been a counselor, I've sat on child study teams, intervention and referral services teams. I know the insides and the outside. I've helped many committees with budgets for the school as an employee. So I felt confident that I do understand the school aspect. The one important thing, and the one thing I know from being a parent and from being an educator, is that nothing gets done if we cannot all work together. And that is one thing that I absolutely will promise that I will speak to everyone. If I get elected on this Board of Education, I will work with everyone. I will listen. I will make informed decisions. I will research. And I will promise you that we will be listening to the community, we will be listening to the students, the administrators, teachers, and we will make the correct decisions based on facts and research that will help our school district stay high-ranking and as competitive with an excellent reputation as it has been, and the reason why we moved here 15 years ago. So a little bit about myself again is, my background was in counseling psychology. I actually went to go get certified as a therapist, and I did all my field work in the school district with emotionally disturbed kids and fell in love with the school atmosphere. So I have a lot of experience listening as well, and also being able to communicate needs. So I do want to be able to make sure that what we need is being addressed, and the concerns of parents and the students is being addressed, and I really do feel that I am capable of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to CELO for hosting this event, and for all of you guys for coming out tonight. It's great to see so many people. My name is Joe Hammer, and I'm running for the school board. I have 3 kids in this district, and I'm really passionate about education. All of my kids have gone through Holmdel school system, so I know the schools extremely well, and my 6-year service on the school board, I think, provides a lot of great experience that I can bring to bear in terms of to the school district. Just a little bit about myself. I am an 18-year resident of Holmdel and a retired Air Force officer. I worked also at Lucent Technologies for about 21 years, recently retired and moved into a new company called LF Edge, which does edge cloud computing. So I understand technology, I understand being on the cutting edge of things, and I want to bring some of that, and I have brought some of that to the Board of Ed throughout the years here. I also served, as I said before, on the Board of Education for 6 years, 2 of which I was president. And in those 2 years, as I was president, we did a lot for the school district. We did the revamping of the website, we did the Holmdel 2020 initiative, and we did a whole ton of other things that I can talk to you guys about afterwards. But we had really effective leadership and effectiveness in general as a board. We renegotiated the salary, or the teacher's salary in record time because we were able to work closely with them. So we did a whole host of things during those few years that I was on. And I want to do the same thing in the next 3 years. But I also think visionary leadership is what's needed, and understanding the school district, where we can go and where we can take the school district is what's needed as well. And I can provide that because, one, I understand all 4 schools, the challenges and the leadership challenges and the detailed personnel that is in each of those schools from the experience that I had in the school board. But I also have the vision to kind of take it to the next step. And what I mean by that is 3 things. There's 3 things that we want to focus on. One is expanding student, career, and college opportunities. During my time as on the board, we started off doing career path plans. So when kids got into high school, they could take career paths where they could then focus on specific areas and get some experience in that. We want to take it to the next level where we can get internships for these kids. We also want to improve their SAT courses, or SAT scores. So what we'd like to do is to give SAT and ACT prep courses for those people that would like to take them into school versus paying thousands of dollars for a lot of us. I don't know whether any of you guys have high school kids, but I just paid a lot to get SAT prep courses. That should be something that could be offered to all of our students that will raise all of the students' SAT courses that can then improve our high school rankings and our school rankings. So the second thing is also improving our school rankings. if you look at there are about 5 different types of rankings: U.S. News, Niche, all these. I did an analysis when I was on the board. I know exactly what they actually change every year, but some of them are similar year to year, and there are various different factors that we have influence on as a board and as a school district that we can do to improve our rankings. And when I was on the board, we actually got number 7 in the school rankings for New Jersey Monthly. And I know we can do some things to improve that, to make it aware of all the parents in terms of responding back to surveys that go out, and to improve our SAT scores that can then translate into better high school rankings. The third thing that I want to focus on is keeping our taxes low. Recently, we've allocated a lot of funds in reserves, and we already have reserves in place. But what the effect of that is what that raises is the tax basis of the schools every year. The more we put into reserves, we actually raise our rates in our school districts every year. So I have a background from the Yale School. I was a school of management, business school. I went to Yale for my business school. So I have a very good understanding of finances, financing, and making sure that we get the right types of financing and structures in place for the school district. So those are the 3 areas: expanding student core and college opportunities, keeping taxes low, and improving our school rankings. Those are the 3 things that I want to focus on next year, and keeping Holmdel innovative and exciting and fun places to go. So those are the 3 things I want to focus on. In terms of my personality, I listen to people, as Jamie said. Even people I disagree with, I actually try to strive to understand every person, every parent, every student's concern when they come up on the board. A lot of times I'm seeing that there's a lot of times where people aren't listening to the actual students, to the parents, to the teachers that come up and speak. And you need to understand, and I may disagree with you and I may vote a certain way, and that's because I will explain my reason for my vote every time that I'm on this board. The second thing is transparency. I want to make sure that the committees come out and they actually give full reports that explain everything in that. And the last thing is responsiveness. So anyway, ask for your vote in November 5th, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank CELU for giving me this opportunity to come here and speak to all of you, to our community. My name is Lori Amorati. I am running for re-election to the Board of Education. I've lived in Holmdel for 13 years with my husband and my 4 sons. My 2 youngest sons attend Holmdel High School. All 4 of my children have attended the Holmdel public school system. I am also a 32-year veteran of the New York City Department of Education, if you haven't guessed from my lovely speech patterns here. For 32 years, I've worked with the New York City Department of Education as a teacher and in many other roles. For 20 years, I've been a teacher in grades K through 8, and for the last 12 years, I've worked in many different capacities. Some of my roles have been curriculum and instruction frameworks writer, new teacher interviewer, STEM lead teacher, technology coach, and building response team safety leader. I can stand here and I could probably espouse to have 30 years experience, 32 years experience in so many different areas of curriculum and instruction, so many different programs, so much professional development, so much training. But what I really want you to understand about me is that my passion is in educating children. My passion is all about students, and what I've learned, aside from all of the professional development I've had and training and experience, is that I truly believe that every child deserves an education and can get an education. But I also believe that every child is not educated the same way. And I'm really proud of the work that I've seen as the curriculum and instruction chair in the Board of Education, and what I've seen in being able to differentiate instruction to our K-8 children, in offering the career pathways in our program of studies in the high school, and offering our excuse me, our high school students the opportunities to follow career pathways that they may be thinking of. I'm a true believer in educating the whole student, the whole child, not just academically, but artistically, athletically, socially, emotionally. Our district is going full force with social and emotional learning. Our students are under such stress, and there's such high rates of mental stress and suicide, and kudos to our school system for realizing that our students really need to be educated completely, not just academically. And that's my passion. That's what fuels me to run for the Board of Education. My true belief in education. I'm not the political person. This whole running and campaigning is not what I do. I really understood what Kathy said when she said that, you know, she's not that campaign person. But after 32 years walking into my school building every morning, I am still as passionate as I was my first year of teaching. And anyone that knows me knows that about me. I am so lucky to be able to work with children, to work with students every single day. I'm really, this is what I want to bring to our school board. I want to bring my expertise and my experience in education to our curriculum and instruction committee if I am still able to. I also try to always put myself in everyone else's shoes. I always look at every angle of every situation, and the only reason I am on the school board is because I am your voice. I am the community's voice. I am our students' voice, and it's a volunteer position, and I'm here for you. So I would appreciate your vote on November 5th. Thank you very much.
I'll just use this one. Hi, I'm Mike Sokol. I've been in town for 18 years. Half of that time I've been on the school board. Now, back in 2008, when Karen Strickland was retiring from the school board, I called her because I was thinking about running. And I don't know if she remembers the advice she gave me, but at the time she said, don't do it, it'll drive you crazy. So now you have an opportunity in the next 4.5 minutes to see if she was right. When I look at the last 9 years I've been on the school board, I think about the things that I've learned. One of the things I've learned, first and foremost, has already been mentioned here by both Jamie and Joe, which is you can't do anything on the school board unless you're willing to work with other people. Every single major initiative that we were able to succeed in the last 9 years, the largest modernization program in the schools in 15 years, all-day kindergarten, rotating schedules so students have more choices for classes. These things all came about because we reached out to the community, we reached out to teachers, we reached out to administrators, we found common ground, and we came up with solutions. And this is something that really drives me for being on the school board. The ability to be a problem solver, to listen to people, to be a reasonable voice. And these are things that are critical today and going into the future. The second thing that I learned is you cannot achieve excellence in education without fiscal prudence. Now, over the last 9 years, we have had an average tax rate of 1.71%. And that, by the way, includes debt service. 1.171%. That's pretty fiscally responsible. But one of the reasons we've been able to accomplish so many things is through long-range planning. For example, we timed the referendum so that this new debt would come between two old debts, and that would help reduce the impact on taxpayers. When we got the plan to put together an all-day kindergarten, we spent several years reducing the potential tax we could raise so that we would have that money banked, so that money would be available to pay for the operating costs. In addition, we've done things to save money through energy conservation, and we've also taken items out of the operational side of the budget and put it into different funds to make it revenue neutral. For example, our cafeteria services, which at one time was a very expensive item, but is now covered by the funds we've set up. The third thing that I've learned that's important when it comes to being on a school board is having an open mind. Being someone who is able to change their position as times change. Everyone who comes onto a school board or any governing entity has very strong views, a very strong philosophy. In my case, I never envisioned we would have security guards in our schools with guns. All right? Never thought that would happen. I thought that's the reason I moved to Holmdel, to avoid that situation. But we've just experienced in the last decade a period of horrific violence in school environments all around the country. And frankly, I had to change my position. I had to change in reflecting what the people in this community are saying they want. That safety, that security. Now, earlier on, we were talking a lot about pilot money. Let me tell you something. We could save you all $350,000 a year if the town used the pilot money to pay for the security that we're currently paying to the town. Because if you take the money from the pilot program, that's a commercial tax base. And I can assure you right now, I will pledge, township does that, I will support taking that $350 totally out of the budget next year and not use that money for something else. Fourth thing is not a lesson I learned on the school board, it's a lesson I learned from my father. My dad liked to use his sons as cheap labor on construction sites. And we would do jobs we had no idea when they were going to end. So when you're a 14-year-old kid at 4:30 in the afternoon on a hot July day, and you'd like to see when you're going to end, you would complain. My dad always had the same answer. We work until the job is done. Now this modernization project is on budget, on time, but it isn't going to be finished until next year. I cannot, in good conscience, walk away. Too many people have come to me and said they expect that the people who are on that board are going to see this project through. And I hope that I'll have a chance to do that. But that is important to me, to make sure this project is finished as we promised. One last thing. One of the best lessons I've learned is there's more lessons to learn. You're always learning something new. This is what energizes me about the school board. There is always some new things going on. Are we at red now? You put yellow like 15 seconds before. What's going on here, Scott? That's not fair. Okay, quick pitch. If you have any questions, go on my Facebook page, SOCL4, the number 4, HBOE. Happy to answer any questions. I'll post something on Facebook today, so if you have any questions you want to post up there, I'll be happy to get back to you. Thank you, Scott, for your time. Thank you, Celia.
The mic's off on one. The mic's off on one.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. I gotta say, it really seems a little bit rotten the way the random numbers got pulled out of the hat. Our brand newbies were 1 and 2, and I just think that maybe give them an extra hand of applause because they're just. Done this, but good job, guys. So one more plug for CELU. This is a community organization. Our whole goal is to have a place where people can get together and talk about issues that affect us. We want you to please join us so that you can maybe help with the direction of the group, help with forums like this, so we can have government transparency and openness and community conversation. So on your way out, pick up a piece of paper, join us. And thank you, candidates, very much. Now, candidates are all promised to stay and chat. So now they are available for you to come and ask them questions. And thank you guys very much. And everybody too. Join us.
It's like when you're talking about just living on the table and I'll wash it.
You're good, Jenny.
Well, he gave her